Today's the day.
Last night, me and my buddies watched The Woman in the Yard. I gotta fix my camera thing, I'm sorry. The Woman in the Yard it was kind of a mixed bag for me before I went and saw it, because I kept thinking to myself, Blumhouse sucks. Not all the time. Like, for example, their new Exorcist movie I thought was okay. It wasn't great, but I thought it was fine. Five Nights at Freddy's I did not enjoy. Megan surprised me and I actually loved that movie. A little scared for sequel. The Insidious films are hit or miss. I think the first one's pretty brilliant. Going forward, some of them are okay, some of them are not. Especially that last one, did not like it all. Missed opportunity. You got the boy in college, we're doing crazy shit. Fucking episode of Scooby-Doo. And so much of their movies are just alike. Like Kayak Imaginary last year, and that came out in March, so I was a little worried for Woman in the Yard. But I could tell you this, I was pleasantly surprised. If you are like me and you are on the fence about this film or Blumhouse or this and that, I would suggest going and check this one out for sure. So basically, Woman in the Yard is exactly what you think. It's about a woman that shows up in these people's yard. The main character, I actually hate her, so just be prepared for that. The main character sucks. But basically, her and her husband had an accident about a month or so prior, where he dies in the car accident. And she's kind of going through all this guilt and trauma and stuff like that. And so it's her and her two kids, and her son's basically raising the other daughter. He's cooking breakfast every morning. He's tending to like their farm and their chickens and this and that, walking the dog every day. And he's basically the man of the house now. And so there's tensions between them, and you can tell it, and there's shit going on, whatever. And her leg's still fucked up, so she's on crutches the whole movie. And so all of a sudden, a woman shows up in the yard. And she tells her that today's the day, and we don't know what that means, what's going on. And she can like control shadows. And so what that means is that like how like behind me there's like a light, she can like kind of like do like little shadow, not shadow puppets, but like, she can do stuff like that. Like, for example, she could grab you or something like that. And so, the whole time you're kind of speculating, is this like a witch? Is this something else? Whatever. And I like how they kind of explain it, because they don't pull... See, I was scared about that, because in Imaginary, Insidious, all these movies, they do the same thing, where they basically sit there and they just kind of do the same thing, where they have some old white woman or something come and tell you exactly what's going on, and like, oh, here's the history of back. No, they don't do that in this movie, and I actually appreciate that. There's only 4 characters. It's the 3 family members and the woman in the yard. I mean, if you count the dog, we can have that too, but that's still not a whole lot of characters to mess with, and I really like that. I like the answers to the questions they give us. It actually kind of gets really dark, and I was surprised on that, because this is PG-13 horror, but you don't get anything vastly just scary or like fucked up, but you do get a lot of stuff that's, dealing with a lot of like trauma, for example, people feeling guilty, stuff like that. And you get into a lot of the meat and the bones of what makes a good horror movie. And so I really actually enjoyed this film a lot. When me and my friend left, my other friend, I don't think he enjoyed it as much as I did, but I definitely was, kind of leaning towards certain scores. And I was like, no, I really like that movie, especially its ending in particular, because its ending can be a little bit dark as well. And I don't know, I can see for some people that's not working, but it was just kind of refreshing to see Blumhouse kind of do something that dealt with something like this and wasn't kind of goofy or stupid or whatever like they have been. And so whether this worked for you or not, I do like some of the bold choices they made with this movie. I also really liked the woman in the yard as a character. Her character represents a lot of things. And I don't know, like the woman that played her, she just did such a great job of kind of bringing on this calm, but also malevolent kind of presence. And, even like going forward, like, I don't see this film ever getting sequels. This, I'm sure they'll find a way. It's Blumhouse. But at the same time, as a standalone film, this works for me. This is definitely something I could put on around Halloween, get the little spooky feels going on. Something I'd probably watch earlier in the season, because like I said, gets really dark, especially the last like 20 something minutes of this movie. But yeah, it just worked, man. Like, there's just so much character work. I really love the way the camera work was done. You know, it always felt like there was like a presence, especially because there's a lot of shadow work dealt. There's a lot of panorams. There's a lot of, you know, oh man, is there something in the background? Is there something not? Especially like, you know, in the scene that you see in the trailer, like where they kind of get into the attic. And there's a lot of layers here. And now, real quick before I end the video, I do want to touch on the characters. So, reason why I said the main character pissed me and my friends off was simply because she doesn't make me mad at the end, because there's a reason for everything, I will say that. But at the start, she's gonna make you mad, because the son's literally like, why don't we just leave? Why don't we just walk on foot? Okay, car don't work, let's just go. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go get a gun and shoot her. And like, it's just so, it's like the horror character, it's like the horror character bad guys with the son is, because he literally is what everybody else would do in a situation like this. It's like, okay, we got a gun, let's go shoot this bitch, right? You know, it's just, he does so many choices and so many things like that, where I feel like, you know, I feel like most people would do the same thing that he was doing. And I really actually enjoyed his character a lot. Usually kid characters kind of piss me off. The daughter really doesn't have much to do in the movie, but I just really felt like as a character, I was like, wow, I'm glad they wrote him as like an actual, like, a real life person, because I feel like for the most part, I would be kind of fed up and be doing the same shit. And so, yeah, with that, I'm going to give The Woman in the Yard a 8 out of 10. I actually surprisingly enjoyed this film a lot. It's got its issues. There's, like, not plot mess ups, but there's some things I kind of question, some things I might go back on. And I will say that there's a few pacing issues. And what I mean by that is that I promise you, for like the first 30 minutes of this movie, was like an hour and a half, I was kind of bored. I was like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? And I'm not expecting like jump scares, like something crazy like that. Thank God I'm just not really enjoying. There's like one jump scare. But I wasn't expecting that or wanting that necessarily. It's just that as a horror movie, you kind of want the stakes to be set at the beginning. And the beginning is just kind of tame. Like I said, this movie is dealing with darker themes, so I was kind of fine with that. It's just that there's a lot of scenes I feel like you could cut in this movie, or a lot of things you could make neater and nicer. Maybe a scene that lasts 5 minutes, it should have been 2, you know. But outside of that, great movie to go watch. I think Blumhouse actually knocked out of the park with this. If they can knock out Megan 2 in June, hell, even Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I'll go watch it. If they can knock those 3 out of the park, this will be a good year for Blumhouse, honestly. PG-13 horror, that's what they can do, and I was a little skeptical over this movie, and I can pleasantly tell you I was wrong. And with that, comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this film if you've seen it. Let me know if you want to see it. And with that, like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Who is that?
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn.